How's it going, everyone? My name is Darius,
And I am Carmen.
and we're the founders of Wealth Nation. We help go getters and entrepreneurs become their own source of financing, utilizing the concept of infinite banking. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time we come out with brand new videos just like this one.
Yes, so today's topic, we actually wanted to talk to you about our journey through infinite banking. We've talked about it a few times on other videos, but we wanted to go a little bit more in depth because we actually had somebody the other day ask us, well, what financial hardships have you guys been through? And we're like, you know what, we should address it, because for us, it wasn't this rosy world that we lived in where everything went how it should and everything was amazing, because we've been through some things that really scared us from a financial standpoint, but it's brought us to where we are today.
Yeah, I think everything always goes according to plan. And when you don't have a plan, that's when stuff goes all crazy and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I think our journey started when I got laid off. I have a background in industrial engineering, and being laid off from my job was kind of a huge hit, not only to our finances, but honestly, my pride, because I went to school for a long time to be an engineer and I got laid off. So what that did for us is that started to make us think about being more independent versus dependent on our 9 to 5.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, when Darius got laid off, that was a 60% hit to our household. So we were scrambling, trying to figure out how in the world were we going to pay our bills and how were we going to make everything work. And so through that lesson, honestly, not even a hardship, that was a hell of a lesson that taught us, like Darius said, we need to be independent, which led us to the wonderful world of real estate. But even before real estate, we had about $60,000 of debt, and that was student loans, that was cars, and that was credit cards. And we were very dependent on our credit cards, because at times when our cash was tight, we were dependent on those credit cards. And that just got us into a whole financial trouble that we ended up spending almost 18 months just trying to get ourselves out of that hole. But the interesting thing is that we got out of debt on a Friday, and on Saturday, we swiped our credit card and maxed it out for $20,000 for a real estate investing education program, which was another lesson. We can say that now was a lesson. Before, we were not really happy about it, but now it was a lesson that taught us about being mentally prepared to step into different opportunities.
Yeah, that's why we talk a lot about mindset, because that's something that we wish we had when we got out of debt the first time.
Yeah.
Because when it came to investing in real estate, is really a action that you have to take versus some magical coaching, because we wish we took that money and invested in directly into our business.
Yeah.
But what it did for us is that kind of lit a fire behind us, saying that, okay, we need to make this real estate thing work out so we can get our money back.
Yeah, exactly. So we can get rid of this credit card. And we were really, really diligent in making sure that our real estate business got off the ground. So we started out wholesaling, and I'm not sure if you all are familiar with wholesaling, but totally Google it. It's an amazing strategy of kind of being the middleman.
Without any money.
Yeah, great point, without having any money. So that was exactly where we started, because you're like, you don't need any money to wholesale. And then we got all the way up to the point where we were lending money. So we were acting as the middleman in a different capacity, connecting people who had money to the real estate investors to make the transaction happen. And that taught us about the world of banking and lending and everything. And we kind of accidentally stumbled into that. But all the while, we were learning and learning and learning everything that we could when it came to finances, so that we could continue to become independent. And even through real estate, we realized that many different times we were dependent on the deals to close, because that was our income. So at every given point that we were in our corporate world or within our business, we were heavily dependent on things happening. So we didn't set ourselves up financially successfully initially in order for us to sleep comfortably at night.
Right. And the biggest lesson that we learned when we were the middlemen for investment deals is, we talk about it all the time. We talked about it in other videos, is the power of networking. It was us being surrounded by people who had, huge net worths and doing different things with their money where they would lend it to us and we would lend it to someone else. So we were already in the business of, I would say, banking and what we're doing within our whole life insurance policies, that we already had this habit of thinking a certain way when it comes to lending money and loaning money to others that we can do within ourselves and within our families now.
Absolutely. And it's really just about the mindset, that the key that we want to hammer on here. I know we talk about mindset a lot, but again, tapping into the mindset and your life experiences, because if Darius hadn't got laid off, if we didn't get out of debt, then got right back into debt and even deeper in the hole with our real estate business, we wouldn't have understood all of these life lessons and would have respected infinite banking for what the beauty that we know that it is. So when people ask us about how did we find infinite banking, it really found us because we put it out in the universe that we wanted to be independent. And how can we position ourselves in a risk-free zone where we're able to not only provide for ourselves, but our children's children. And also, you know, our extended family members.
Right.
So again, just to share this with you all, when you're thinking about infinite banking, not only do you have to be financially ready, but you need to be mentally prepared to have that discipline and to have things in place, because you do have to pay the loans back.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people get their loans and they don't pay it back, and then they just accrue and accrue and accrue and accrue interest without having a plan. So you have to have a plan. You have to have the discipline in place, and you have to really be ready from a mental standpoint to carry your own banking business.
Yeah, and if I say anything about infinite banking, I think infinite banking is an accelerator. So if you have a plan and you have good habits and you have discipline, then it's going to be an accelerator for you financially. But the key is, if you have bad habits coming into infinite banking, it's just going to make those bad habits even worse. You'll have nicer things, but infinite banking is truly the habit of paying yourself back principal and interest.
Yeah. So I really hope that just us sharing some of the things that we've been through from a financial standpoint helps you realize that if you're going through the trenches and if you're trying to figure things out too, everyone has to figure their own financial situation out first.
Yes.
So we always recommend get stable, get financially ready, get mentally ready, because once those two tap into each other, then infinite banking just expounds on everything that you're able to do. And that is really what the journey of our process to infinite banking was, not only from a monetary standpoint, but from our mindset. We had to be ready to receive.
Yeah, the biggest thing I think Carmen and I have going is the fact that we do our finances together. And we're both on the same page when it comes to our finances. So together. So if there's one thing you get from this, and you are in a financial situation where you're like, how do I even come up with money for infinite banking? Get yourself a plan and see where your money is going, and have the ability to say no to going out and hanging out with friends and spending money, or going out to fancy restaurants. It starts there. It's all about discipline.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for watching. For those of you who are live with us, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this video, and if you want to keep up with what Darius and I are doing, we have some travels coming up that we're super excited about. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at wealthnation.io.
And remember to always own your own lifestyle,
or someone else will.
Have a good one.